Hello. Long time no chat. I am sorry I've been away for so long. It's been, yeah, it's been a while, isn't it? So, um, let me put this on full screen for a second. Apologize for the harsh glare. That is StreamYard. Good grief. I wish I could dim that particular thing down, but I can't. So, look at me. I'm all harsh and glary and shit. So, Um, yeah, it's been a very long time, and this is just a test bit of fun. I am going to be properly streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. PST. If you're in the Discord, you'll already seen the message. It's been way too long since I hung out and chatted with everybody. That's because it's been a fucking year. I think the last time I streamed was probably in April or May. So yeah, so I've decided to. Hello, Mr. Griffiths. How are you, my friend? Um, yeah, I've decided that I'm going to play a game and I'm going to chat to you as I go. So I am going to play one of my favorites. Steve Morris, how are you? It's been a long time, hasn't it? So yeah, I am going to play one of my favorite games. Hopefully you can hear all this. This is another experiment. Um, I'm going to play The Stick of Truth, South Park, which is literally one of my favorite games of all time. I think the writing's fantastic. I mean, it's an 8-year-old game. Jesus Christ. Raypad. No, I'm not playing fucking Final Fantasy, my friend. I love you, brother. You got to give me a really. You got to cut me some slack this weekend, especially as I am not looking forward to Sunday. Mr. Quo, how are you? Oh, Mark, I'm sorry to hear you got the Rona, mate. Um, so yeah, if you just tuned in and you missed some of this, if you're on Twitter, in fact, I should probably um, get the Tweety page open on. Um, Fuck that. I'm not using that. Yeah, I should probably get the Twitter page open because apparently I'm streaming to Twitter as well. Because yeah, God, my brain is not working. Don't get cancer. Don't get cancer because you have to take these drugs that muddle your brains. And when you get to the age of 51, um, shit gets old and tired real fast. And this shit, and I get forgetting. I have changed up my office, Ray. Good spot. I've turned everything around. I've still got my shoes hanging on the back of my door, but let me just turn this camera around some. You'll see now I have a TV mounted. Still have artwork that I haven't mounted yet. I have my wall of gaming goodness. I have my laptop. Um, it's actually just a way more comfortable situation for me. This is still the coolest room in the house, literally and figuratively, after the heat wave, because I've got a baller connection to AC coming through. Um, so yeah, I am going to answer your questions as I play South Park: The Stick of Truth. As I said, one of my favorite games. So, yeah, let's crack on. And there you go. Look at that. Hello, Melkia. How are you? All right. Why is that not working? Okay. So you can actually help me out with this now. Am I? Are you actually seeing this? Are you seeing the screen for South Park? It's like my mug of you. Yeah. Are you seeing the South Park screen? No. No. How about now? Um, this is no a big picture of my face. That's not good. Hmm. This is part of me trying to figure out what the hell's going on. How about that? Can you see me now? This is good. I'm so glad that you're here to test to run through this beta test with me as I try. And okay, so all right. Okay. Full screen layout. I know you can't see that for some reason. Better face than his. I love this abuse I'm getting. Right, I got the cancer, you know. Okay, so this is bizarre. You should be able to see the screen for South Park, the stick of truth. I am actually going to stop that screen. Oh, look, am I back? I hope I'm back. I hope you can all see me. Still my screensaver. What the actual? Well, there you go. This was an absolute disaster, wasn't it? Oh, now it's me, is it? Okay. All right. So let's try this again. Click on present. And then picture in picture. Oh. Present. Share my screen. Boom. Share. Okay. There we go. Isn't this wonderful? I'm actually sharing the whole screen for some reason. It's not showing me. It's not showing me the full South Park, which really is annoying. So there you go. Thankfully, I've got a big enough screen. So now you can see your comments as I comment to you, and that's going to be so fucking meta. So anyway, I just want to play a game and I want to relax because it's been a while. Okay. Ooh, should I go with emo hair? Should I make? Oh, that's kind of good, mullety type thing. Crazy month, crazy year, mate. But yes, it's been a rough one. Ooh, that looks good. A bit of bedhead never went amiss. And then, oh, Uberginge. There you go. You can't go wrong with Uberginge. And South Park cows. And change that to blue. Yeah, I think that looks good, don't you? All right. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked on the live button, to be honest with you. Maybe I shouldn't have just clicked on the live button. I should have just fucked around a little bit more. There you go. Oh, let's give it some zits. All right. And some glasses. Complete. There you go. I made my kid. Nice to see you, Quid Pro Quo. Yes, I hope all goes well. I will be streaming tomorrow for everybody on the Discord, so you can check me out there and we can have a really good natter. So yeah, I'm going to talk about this game and why I love it. I mean, one, I'm a fan of South Park. Always have been. Actually, not always have been. I watched the very first season when it first aired, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a pile of crude shit." And the the animation, the paper characters, and everything. I'm like, really, people find this funny. And after about 3 episodes, I was so sucked in. And the writing is obviously very, very smart. They reveled in the sort of like the shitty-esque appearance of it, and it's just gone on from strength to strength. And I've watched every episode, every season, even going as far as to make sure that I've got the Blu-ray version of the 200th episode, which is one they have pulled from digital, and Comedy Central will never air again because they tried to censor it, and Matt decided you will not have access to this ever again. So yeah, always loved it. I loved their stuff. This game came out, and I was absolutely over the moon with it. I thought the writing was great. It plays like a really, really great long movie. I mean, obviously, it's not graphically stunning, but it looks like the fucking cartoon. And so I know a lot of people are playing the very latest games over and over, and I know I should probably get on that, but I'm too old. So I'm just going to play what I want to play. So I got to find some kids to play with. So if you haven't played this game, it's often on on sale on Steam or on Xbox. In fact, I think I got my nephew and niece playing it inadvertently. I went back to the UK over the summer, and I suggested to their dad that it was a great game for him to play, and he ended up playing it with the kids. So sorry, Rianne, my sister, that sucks. But yeah, I just love this game. So all right. Oh, can't go through that door. I'm gonna go in. The beautiful thing about South Park is that you can explore so much, and yes, it's hella rude, and you can knock over a trash can. And if you haven't played this game, you're really missing out. Ray says he loves everything except the menu system. I actually prefer the layout and everything on this one to the second game, which, I'll play at some point. I'll play again at some point because I've got the fractured butthole. The fractured butthole, isn't it? So, yeah. So how has everybody been? What's going on with you all? I mean, obviously, you collect a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, this is a fucking episode. This is a great episode, as far as I'm concerned. Probably not going to be much by way of commentary, to be honest with you. It's going to be a silly old middle-aged man just tootling along, playing a game, because I am silly. But I'm still here. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? I am absolutely great. Let's see if I can try that. Oh, look, there it is. Look at that. There's me. There's that one. What's that one? Oh, yeah. Okay. I've got 13 people watching, which is always bizarre that people would actually want to do that, want to watch this. But I guess you got nothing better to do, and I will take your company. Say hi in the comments. I will say hi back to you. I've been given a quest. My quest log. New kid in town. I got to find some kids. Okay. Now, where can I go? Oh, can't destroy that yet. Can I open this? Oh, hello. What's up here? Oh, look at that. All about the wigs. Hello, Emerson. That's a hell of a long moniker there, my friend. I am not going to repeat it over and over. Well, serves you right for in a fucking set of ears like your Lord of the Rings. And I know this is a Lord of the Rings inspired game, but I've always been more sci-fi and superheroes over Lord of the Rings. But I have a friend and he's Butters. Isn't Butters nice? All right, so guess who the wizard is? I have been enjoying Rings of Power to a certain degree. I think it's been interesting that Rings of Power and Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon debuted at the same time. It's definitely neither of them have really caught my imagination. So I'm going to turn this down a little. Yeah, Game of Thrones, I have a real problem with. I should have been able to enjoy because I really enjoyed the last one. But this one, with all the time jumps, it's a real pain in the ass. It's a prequel. And again, prequels are a pain in the ass because prequels, for me, it's really hard to invest because the end game has already been sorted, if you will. This is why Obi-Wan didn't really float my boat because I couldn't get excited. There was no sense of danger for the main character because Obi-Wan's still alive. Why is he still? How do you know he's still alive? Because he's in frickin' Star Wars: A New Hope. So with the Game of Thrones prequel and with the Lord of the Rings prequel, Rings of Power, pretty much that when you see Galadriel and some of the other characters, it's nice to put faces and names, but you know how it's going to end. And that to me is pointless, or somewhat pointless. It just removes a little bit of the enjoyment. Perhaps I'm the only one. The key difference between these shows and Obi-Wan is that both the series are based on books. Well, I realized that House of the Dragon is based on a book, a heavily condensed version of the book. Rings of Power. I mean, I was aware of The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion. I hadn't realized The Rings of Power was also a book. I thought it was an original production. But anyway, yeah. Rock of Insanity. Ooh. I've got a daffodil. National flower of Wales, by the way, in case you never heard of it. Heard that fact. The national flower of Wales is a daffodil. Don't ask me why. But we are. Did I watch Sandman on Netflix? Oh boy, did I watch Sandman. I'll watch anything Neil Gaiman does. Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I love what they did with the characters. Thought Joanna Constantine was pretty awesome. And I think one of the things Gaiman does that a lot of people don't do as well is that whole multiverse. Oh, so I have a name. So let me put this in, but what's he going to call me? Well, I think he's going to call me Douchebag. There you go. That's what it is. Young Hot Galadriel is Welsh, by the way. Absolutely, with a name like Morvedd Clark, I think, isn't it, or something? She's born in Sweden, but she's Welsh. So that's a combination and a half right there. I mean, you've got the hotness of the Swedes with the super hotness of the Welsh. Now that's a combination made in heaven. And obviously the innate talent, skill, charm, and everything else that the Welsh people have, and humility. Don't forget our fucking humility. Yeah, that's a match made in heaven, really, isn't it? Hello, Nexus. How are you? It's been so long since I've actually been live. It's been an up and down summer. It's been an up and down 6 months since I last streamed, and I will be doing a full stream tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I just talk about what's been going on. I'll take your questions. And really get to go through all the highs and lows, because obviously since the last time I've seen you, I've had two tests, two major tests, and I have had 3 weeks in the UK, which was both amazing and frustrating in different measures. We have done bits and bobs around the house. We've had the house painted this week, not inside, outside. And just the medical stuff. It's a mind. It is a real mind fuck, to be honest with you. To be thinking that 12 months ago I was sitting down with a diagnosis of, oh, you have 3 to 6 months to live. That's it. It's no argument. You have 3 to 6 months to live. Is sobering in the extreme. And then to see that change is great. I mean, obviously I'm here. Never been very good with deadlines. Anybody who's ever looked at my schedule with regards to the streaming I've wanted to do. What is it, buddy? Spike's here, by the way. Yeah, every time, whatever. And look, I'm gonna have to just put down the controller because this is really confusing to me and really tricky. I mean, I used to be able to talk and walk at the same time, play a video game and talk at the same time, but I can't. So I'm gonna have a cup of tea and sit and talk. The news I've had since has always been positive. Every time it's been positive. And it's difficult to equate that positive because I'm still in a lot of pain. And the pain is residual pain in a lot of spaces from the radiation. And I mean, I'm going to have ongoing prostate pain probably for the rest of my life. And I can't take too many painkillers because they fuck me up. And I don't want to get on opioids because that's just not a good idea. And so there's things, you know, like weight gain and various other things that have kicked in. And despite the fact that I'm working out 3 times a week now to try and combat it, it gets a little messy. Let's get back to this John Constantine thing, though. I know we're going to get John Constantine. It looks like we're going to get a good John Constantine on HBO. That'll be great, assuming the HBO cull doesn't continue. But yeah, Joanna Constantine was great. I mean, you can argue that the Lucifer that they used in Sandman is not the Lucifer Morningstar we are used to. And this taps in again to the multiverse. And they've said, Neil Gaiman himself has said that there are multiple iterations of Lucifer and multiple universes and stuff like that. And I'm totally down with that. To have one huge streamed universe would be great. Tom Ellis, as far as I'm concerned, is a baller Lucifer, but it's not that show. Sandman is not Lucifer. Lucifer is a crime procedural comedy, especially that last season, a little bit wacky-do. So yeah, I thought it was great. Can't wait for season 2. I'd like to see another season of Lucifer, but they actually tied it up really, really well. If you haven't seen the final season, you should. All right, how should I play? Mage, Thief, Covetous. I gotta say the Jew thing's so offensive, but my wife is Jewish, and when she saw me play this, she laughed her ass off. Steve Morris says, I bet you're glad you're to be that I'm in the US. Mostly. I do miss the homeland. I really am appalled by the mishandling of the country by the current government in the UK. And I really do think they shouldn't be allowed to change prime minister willy-nilly. In fact, they should call a snap election because they'd be out on their asses. We'd be back in Europe and things would be a lot better. Not 100% perfect because no politician is decent. Every politician's a fucking scumbag. But it would be better than the twats they're having right now. Next time you're in the UK, get to Liverpool. You could, Steve, first of all, swear away. I don't care. I love a good swear. Next time I'm in the UK, get to Liverpool. Yes. It's on my bucket list to go to Liverpool and obviously to visit Anfield. The timing was not right this time. And I'll be honest with you, the trip I took, we decided to do a really good trip. I was out for 3 weeks because weren't sure if I'd be able to do it again. That's just the way it is. That's my world now. Because obviously I've got the cancer. There's the heart condition as well, and that's being managed. I'm doing my all my meds and exercise and all that sort of stuff. And then there's still the threat of COVID. Thankfully, I missed the last surge, but it did mean walking around the airport and in a mask, wearing a mask on the plane, having a personal HEPA filter, little USB thing about that big, that was next to my head, literally on the plane. I had it plugged into the USB port and it was blowing air while I still had a mask on. An 11-hour flight with a mask on is not funny. I mean, lifting it to eat, building, I actually put a blanket on my head to eat with a HEPA filter pump in. And I'm actually just amazed that I got to, we got through that trip and we didn't get COVID. Hello, Stage Select. Long time no speak. How are you? Because COVID's a bitch, and anybody who's got it, you have my utmost sympathies, because this thing is no longer a pandemic, it's an endemic, and it's everywhere. And I'm so sorry for anybody who gets it, especially if, you've where you wear masks or you are, and you are boosted. I've got my bivalence. I'm 5 boosts for shots and boosts in. And because I'm old, I got my flu jab last week. But it does mean that it can be a somewhat lonely life. And now they're saying that there is another rave, COVID rave. Whoa, drop the bass. There is another wave coming this winter that'll suck. I mean, especially for the colder climates. I mean, here in California, we used to outdoor living. It's getting even hotter because it's like living on the fucking sun at times. But I mean, in the UK, I know it's tough to be outside, and inside is tough because it costs so much to heat things now. Because again, the government are incompetent fuckwits, and we do have this this douchebag in Russia. What's his name? Putin, who needs to get out of power real sharpish because Ukraine's kicking his ass, and I stand with Ukraine. I should get Razer to send me one of their powered masks. I've got no hope of getting sponsorship. I mean, that's the thing. I suppose if I'd have carried on, in fact, if I'd have perhaps started earlier with the streaming or stuck with it or whatever, and it can be tough because I have to be able to talk to you about something, and this is why I'm trying to do the game thing. Because if I've not been playing a huge amount of games. Not new games anyway. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I finally have an Xbox, a new Xbox. And I have the PS5 and they're all hooked up and it's great. And I'm still using the PC. And I have been working. I've been working, thankfully, consulting on a game that's coming out next week, in fact. And I can... I'll talk about that in a bit, actually. Let's carry on talking about the COVID and stuff. It's going to be a long, hard winter for a lot of people. And for people like me, I'm just going to have to not go to Christmas parties again and stuff like that because I know I won't be able to be around people. So here you go. All right. So I'm a wizard. I have to go. All right. I have to go buy a weapon. Thank you, Cartman. And Cartman's a douchebag. This is just such a well-written game, isn't it? Yeah, the heating prices in the UK, and I know in Europe are all horrible, and it doesn't help Russia's bombing the Nord pipeline because they're sabotaging everything. It's really tough, and I'm terrified for my family and my friends and everybody I know back there. It's just absolutely horrible. France has obviously been quite smart in their capping. Sorry, my train of thought is just all over the place. I'm just going to sit and talk to you guys for a bit. EU not bad, at least France except yeah, France is doing well. In fact, let's just cut this out for the moment. Look at that. Now you got me back. And you can see my Racco shoes, and you can see my Homer, my Christmas Homer behind me. So yeah, the reason that, and I'm jumping back and forth. This is why I can see the viewership numbers going up and down like yo-yos, because I'm rambling. That I've come with no formal structure. I literally came home from the gym this morning. I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've streamed. I should definitely do something, and that's why I'm going to do the stream tomorrow. And this is sort of like just to get me back into the swing of things. But I sat down with no agenda. I thought, oh, I'll play a game and talk through a game. But it's always tough trying to concentrate on a game that's not a new game, that people have probably played and I've played, especially one that's perhaps as driven as this, story driven and everything is slower paced. So yeah, this is why this is a disaster of an opening, or a return. So sorry about that. Thank you, RPG. Enough COVID. Let's talk about Doctor Who. I've seen the trailer. We'll see how it goes. We know we've got a new one. And by the way, I have podcasted a few times with Raypad. In fact, I've done a couple of things with Raypad. We've talked about footy. We have talked about actually mostly footy. And then I do the Lonely TARDIS. So if you haven't checked out the Lonely TARDIS, you can find it everywhere that good podcasts are hosted. We haven't done much there because obviously, we've tried to keep it 2 Doctor Who seasons, and we will do one for the episode that airs on the 23rd, where we say goodbye to Jodie Whittaker, and more importantly, goodbye to Chris Chibby, who is his time on Doctor Who has not been a good one. You keep missing the footy stuff. Well, I think Raypad TV and Raypad.tv, and you can see Ray. You can go to Ray's feed and find that. I'm sure Ray will drop a link in. And we've talked about a bunch of stuff. We talked about the Premier League. We talked about Fantasy Football League, of which currently the top 2 teams are Ray in number 1, me in number 2. And I'm only in number 2 because of one player. And unfortunately, he plays for Manchester City and has scored more goals than anybody this season. But I am so happy I got him first, because he's the only reason I might be in with a chance, because the rest of my team's absolutely gash unless Darwin Nunez picks up. And then we talked about the Fantasy League, we talked about the Premier League and transfers. I'm so disappointed that Fat Frank Lampard still hasn't been sacked, because Everton are actually, slightly less shit than usual. So that's what I've been up to. That's why it's been oh my God, your team has major injuries. TAS, Trent and Reese are down. Absolutely. Wow. That's tough. I'm weeping for you. I really hope that on Sunday it's 3-2 to Liverpool. Darwin Nunez hat trick versus 2 from Haaland. That'll probably keep me going. Actually, I could probably go 5-4 to Liverpool with 5 goals from Darwin and 4 from Haaland, because I've actually dropped Alisson Becker. I've actually dropped my goalkeeper for this weekend, my main goalkeeper, and replaced him with the Wolves goalkeeper, because they've got a dull 0-0 draw written all over it this weekend. So, yes, it can be a high-scoring thing as long as both my players score for Liverpool. And I don't have any Liverpool defenders in my team. Thank God. No one's 4-2 with this. So, yes. God, look at that. Half an hour on, wittering away. I'm so glad everybody's dropped in. And I will get back into the swing of things. It really is quite strange to get back and be able to talk to people about this and try and figure out what I want to do. And again, I will always take your comments and your questions and your suggestions or things you want to do. I was thinking I might stream the game Dead Space at some point, Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, because they're on Games Pass. I've never played them, which I really should, because that might be fun with Halloween coming up. Some themed content in it. Lovely. So yeah, if you have any suggestions on things you want to talk about, keep them in mind. And like I said, I am gonna be streaming 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow morning. But yeah, I think the whole concept of me playing a game right now is just ridiculous. I don't have the mental bandwidth. Get out of my comfort zone, Marcus. Streamer J. RP Genius. I was playing JRPGs when you were still in nappies, my friend. And the Welsh accent really kicked in there. I was playing The Secret of Mana, and I was playing Final Fantasy on the Super NES and the NES, and I was playing Shining Force. And I carried on playing Final Fantasy through the PS1 era. And then I came to this crushing realization that they're just boring grind fests. And that's it. I've tried to go back. I've tried to play the games. I've tried to, play some of the remasters, and they just don't stand up. I mean, they're a bunch of inanimate backgrounds. That you wander around. They are stupid multiple button presses just to get through a conversation. They are cutscenes a go-go. They're grindy as fuck. Really can't stand turn-based combat. Which most of the ones I've mentioned, are kind of grown out of that. So yeah, I mean, considering I've played those games and I played a lot of them, I know I haven't played much recently, and other than trying these remasters, or I tried to play Final Fantasy online, and just didn't work for me. So no, I'm going to stay out of that wheelhouse. And look, you enjoy them, great, but that's not my wheelhouse. And life is too short, because I know, unfortunately, I'm so ingrained with my anti JRPG bias that you're never going to convince me that it's an enjoyable experience anymore. I mean, I've never enjoyed a Backby. Lovely to see you tomorrow. Please come by tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST. Yeah, I mean, I will just not. There's no point. There is no point me doing it. I mean, it's quite ridiculous for me to even consider doing that. No shame. Don't you shame me, git. Ray Pad says, I will watch a Welsh movie if you will watch a Filipino-American movie. I'm always down to watch new movies and different movies. In fact, I wish there is a Welsh movie that I have in mind that I'd love for you to watch, but it's not available on streaming over here. It's called Twin Town. And it stars a very young Rhys Evans, who was obviously Spike in Notting Hill, and has been in a bunch of different things, including he's in House of the Dragon. He's the Hand in House of the Dragon. And it's him and his brother, and it's from the early 90s. And it was released just after Trainspotting, to cash in on that boom of, whoa, look, it's not set in London. It's gritty. It's got drugs, this, that, and the other. And it's a fucking silly film. I just rewatched it recently because I managed to get access to it. And the other thing I will say about it is my stepdad's in it. They have a male voice choir in it towards the end of the movie, and I know my dad is in it, and that's always my stepdad's in it, and that's always fun. And then obviously seeing the various areas of Swansea that they film in, because that used to be my stomping ground, bars I used to work at or drink at, clubs, etc. The railway station there is used a lot. So yeah, if you can find a movie called Twin Town with Rhys Evans and his younger brother, you should watch it. It's very, very Welsh, very, very Swansea. And then feel free to send me a film recommendation for a Filipino-American movie, and I'm happy to watch it. Steve Morris says, ooh, games in the early 90s rocked, and that's because I'm in my 40s and old. I'm in my 50s and older, and yes, they did. I mean, they still rock today, but we were very lucky to be in at the front. And if you're just joining me, welcome to what was going to be me streaming South Park: The Stick of Truth and talking, but I just realized I can't walk, talk, and chew bubblegum at the same time. I need to retrain my brain. So the game's just taking a walk, and now I'm just sitting here shooting the shit. And I will be streaming again at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Everybody in the Discord, the Annoyed Gamer Discord, will have their access and their say and questions, etc. And we'll talk about bits and bobs. Fabulous Filipino Brothers. All right. I'll find it. Let's see. The new Monkey Island ticket, nice and so. Is that a remaster? I love the LucasArts games, but they were so frustrating. Maybe I'll stream Dungeon Keeper. That'll be fun. Dungeon Keeper 2. Steve Morris, good God, I watched Twin Town in Cardiff in 97. Hot dogs. Love a hot dog, I do, isn't it? Mark Simpson, nice to see you. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my friend. I don't do GMT, so that's going to be 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Ron Gilbert did a new one. I've been kind of disconnected, as you can tell. I've kind of just been switched off. I have been working. I've been working on. I've been consulting. I have this consulting gig that I do, where I provide evaluations for the game for games with companies. And see that there. I don't know if you can see that. It's a nice little. Oh, there you go. Look at that. From Alpha. That is the name of my company that I started to do evaluations, and I worked on Back for Blood, and I worked on Gotham Knights, which is hitting soon. My name's in the credits, which is nice. I've done some evals on Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, and I spent the last 11 months working with IllFonic. Worked on a game of theirs called Arcadegeddon. That's a fun little team shooter, and I recommend it. It's on the Steam store, and I think it's available on PS4 as well, PS5 as well. So it's a nice, colorful little shooter, quite fun. But obviously, the big one from IllFonic is Ghostbusters: Spirits Unleashed, and there's embargoes in place, so I cannot say anything about how the game plays, but it comes out next week, and when all the reviews start hitting, I'll be happy to talk about the game more. But it's a very exciting time. So yeah, that's taken up a lot of my time over the last 10, 11 months. I've been very lucky that IllFonic took the chance to work with me on a regular basis, and I'm eternally grateful to them. And again, grateful to Bethesda. And just like with anything, though, I can't go and get a 9-to-5 job because of the treatments and working out and being tired from the drugs. And so look, I'm very lucky in that I know there are people who have to work 9-to-5 or have to do numerous jobs. And my admiration for them, while they suffer with with cancer or various other medical complaints. I think it's pretty fucking disgusting in this day and age that there's still no safety net in any of the developed countries, especially UK and US. Those are the two I'm talking about. Those are the two I can talk about. It's fucking abhorrent that there is no real safety net for people who are battling life-threatening illnesses that protect them with regards to health insurance, keeping a roof over their heads, paying bills, etc., etc. We judge a society by how we look after those in the most need, and I am not in the most need. I mean, I'm in need. I admit it. I mean, it's tough. My wife is working her ass off after her businesses were destroyed by COVID to keep a roof over our heads, and I've been able to contribute somewhat. But it's just fucking abhorrent how hard it is. Interest rates going up, cost of everything going up. Stage Select, good to see you. Thank you so much. Yes, it's on YouTube. Mark Simpson, I'm on YouTube and Twitter as well. I can't really abide Twitch either, to be honest with you. I might just 86 Twitch and switch to Facebook. Yeah. It's been really hard for me. I mean, I just get so tired all the time. And then I can't sleep, which makes it even worse. Which is why I'm working out more. I'm having physical therapy 3 times a week to help build muscle and build energy so I can actually do some stuff. And I mean, if I had to go and try and find a full-time job, that might put me in my grave even sooner. And so anybody who has to do it, they have my admiration and the disgust that the system allows this to happen. People should be allowed to recover and fight with dignity and not have to worry about money and not be called a scrounger by the right-wingers or, a benefit queen or whatever by the right-wing scum, the maggots, the conservatives, the Republican parties. Because at the end of the day, they only want one thing, and that's whatever benefits them and their rich friends. And if we took the money from them and we took them, and if a senator or a congressperson was forced to live on the wages of somebody, even like me, who has has this disease and have to pay medical and everything else on top, they'd be fucking changing the rules in a minute. But anyway, I'm a little socialist. I've been going for 45 minutes. So apparently some Twitch ads will probably kick in at some point. So you'll get a 1 minute warning on Twitch saying that an ad is going to kick in. So maybe I should just end this sooner rather than later. Turned out to be a bit of a disaster with regards to playing games, but I'll get back into it. I'll pick better times. I'll pick better games. I do love the South Park game, but if you want me to talk as well with it, it's just a little tricky. Walking and talking, not my forte. But I will say, check out Raypad TV. Raypad has his own YouTube channel, and it's baller, and he's fancy with his graphics and his interstitials and his sponsorship. He certainly shows me how to, shows me up with regards to being able to understand things. I just find it so hard to understand things nowadays. Just focus, I mean, look at it. I'm looking at myself on the fucking screen when I should be looking at the goddamn camera. That's where you are, not there. But for some reason, I want to look at my own grizzled, stupid self. That's why I think I should podcast with Ray once a week. I think the two of us should set up a full Patreon and just go to town on anything and everything. But he doesn't want to. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to do it with me anyway, because I'm an arsehole. So yeah. Your game. Yeah, right. I've suggested it to you how many times? God, all you want me for is my immaculate footy knowledge and my witty banter. And then you just toss me to the side. You use me and abuse me, and then you bugger off on vacation. How was Hawaii, by the way? It looked fantastic. My 12-inch. Oh, God, not with prostate cancer. Not that. So actually, I'm going to float this thing out just to everybody in general. And obviously, I can see your responses here from Twitch and YouTube, but I can't see your responses on Twitter. But I could if I opened the fucking things. Oh, look at that. If I was to do an AMA about prostate cancer, would you be into it? No holds barred. Ask anything about this disease and the journey over the last 12 months. Because I think men obviously suffer from prostate cancer, and every man has the potential to get prostate cancer, develop it, because of just the way our system is, and the food and the chemicals and everything in the various in the worlds that we are in, because we've screwed up everything. So I think I'm going to do that. Thank you, Ray. Of course, November is next month. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do a proper AMA on here. We'll set a date, maybe November the 1st. Whatever day November the 1st is. Isn't that a Tuesday, I think? Because Halloween's on a Monday. There you go. Tuesday, November the 1st. I'm going to do a prostate cancer AMA and talk about every single aspect of my journey over the last 13 months. It's been 13 months since I'm diagnosed. I'll talk about all the ups and the downs, the mental issues, the physical issues. And it's going to be fun. And I'm probably going to cry, because that's what I do. I cry a lot. Well, look, I just want to educate people. Every man, 35 and up, you have to get tested. You have to get the finger in the bum. And this is a precursor to the AMA. Finger in the bum, get your PSA checked. Because they normally don't start until you're 50. And they did it when I was 51, and it was too fucking late. It's already in here. And they could have killed it off, but now I'm just trying my best to treat it and beat it. So they say 35 to 40 is the new one. So please get that finger in your bum. If the obvious question would be, if JRPGs cured cancer, would you play them? No. There's some things I won't do. Seriously. I mean, it's like watching The Handmaid's Tale. There's just some things I will not do. The reason I watched The Handmaid's Tale is I watched the first one, the first season, and I thought it was like, oh, all fully encompassed. I just don't see how they've dragged it out to 5 fucking seasons. Oh, do you like my new gaming chair? That's something else that we bought this year, because I don't know if you remember when I started streaming, my chair was so broken. So one of the things I did with the Patreon money, I got myself a chair from Secret Lab, and it's awesome. It's extra wide for my extra wide ass. It's so comfortable. It protects my lumbar where I've got the tumors. Yeah, so I'm very happy with my Secret Labs chair. So thank you all who've donated to the Patreon, because you've directly paid for this. You really have. I mean, and it's been so amazing. Raypad would like to clarify for the world that if you're going to stick a finger in your bum or get a finger stuck in your bum, make sure it's a doctor's one, because anybody else's, if they're not qualified, they won't be able to tell if you've got prostate cancer. And then if you still want somebody else to stick a finger in your bum, good luck to you. Just do it where I don't have to see it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Nothing wrong with a bit of bum fun. But I'm just saying, it's not something I want to watch right now. Maybe later. A couple of years. Nick the Tech Dude says, I will stick with just the Doctor. And Nick the Tech Dude wins the argument. Well done. Thank you very much. Raypad with a very interesting question. We lost Robbie Coltrane today. Robbie Coltrane was a great actor. A lot of you will know him from Harry Potter, where he played the huge Hagrid. All right there, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. And Robbie Coltrane would be would be well known to anybody in the UK, especially of my generation, because he started in a TV series called Tutti Frutti, which was a BBC Scotland comedy drama. And then he was cast as, I mean, he was in a couple of the Pierce Brosnan Bond films as this Russian drug lord, crime boss. But he was in a show called Cracker, where he played Fitz, a inveterate gambler and alcoholic who is also a criminal psychologist, and gets brought in by the police to help them profile murder suspects, etc., etc. First season of which actually had Chris Eccleston in it, and it's a really, really good series. I think you can actually see it on BritBox. So if you have BritBox, $6.99 a month, I think it's on there, the entire run. They did like 4 seasons, and then they brought them back for 2 one-off movies, I think, and they were just not good. They were really quite miserable. But the first couple of seasons in particular were amazing, absolutely amazing. Cracker was amazing. Nuns on the Run. Steve Morris, be gone before I kick you out. Yeah, we won't talk about Nuns on the Run with, I think, Eric Idle. Oof. And he also did The Pope Must Die, which was then relabeled The Pope Must Diet. I think that was a mid-90s show movie as well. It was an absolute disaster. So anyway, this is what happens when you get old. The people that you love, the people that you grew up with, they all get taken away. And I still maintain that I hope that this run we have on Earth is basically, it's the tutorial for whatever comes next. And when you can basically, you get to the next stage and you're the best version of yourself. You've seen the show The Good Place. I could really get behind that. I really could get behind the idea of a good place where you get to refine again, being the best person. You can basically live out eternity then in the really good place. It's a great show. That's a great show. Check that out. Is this the demo? Said Raypad. What you mean? I don't know what Raypad said, but I think while I'm here, I am going to bring up that if you've ever read OXM, Official Xbox Magazine, PSM, or indeed PC Gamer, you will know that in the late 90s and early 2000s, they had an editor-in-chief called Rob Smith, Sheffield United fan from Sheffield. Great guy. One of my closest friends. And we lost him 2 weeks ago. He passed, which has contributed to how shit the last couple of months have been. PC Accelerator 2, as Ray just reminded me. And yeah, we lost him. And he was just a genuinely fantastic guy. We loved football. He loved to go to Santa Anita racetrack because he liked the horses. He loved rugby. He went to college in Wales and Aberystwyth, and he was just fantastic. Just an amazing guy. So if you've ever read PC Gamer, PC Accelerator, OXM, or PSM in the late aughts, the early aughts and late 90s, you will have read some of his stuff. And he was just a great guy. And he also worked at Machinima for a while as well. So yeah, we're grieving him right now. And I know I've got friends who just lost parents in the last couple of months as well. Getting old sucks. So yeah. RP Genius says, hopefully there's a barrier to entry in heaven. I wouldn't want Thatcher Life Part 2 to feature Thatcher. Well, I mean, that's the thing. There's going to be, in my idea of Life Part 2, you are the best version of yourself. And considering that Harridan doesn't have a good version of herself, she'd still be in hell. So, you know, the Hitlers, the Pol Pots, the Ronald Reagans, Richard Nixons, Donald Trumps, any conservative prime minister, Bolsonaro in Brazil, any right-wing fuckknuckle, any religious zealot, extremist, left-wing's extremists too, anybody who's a fucking extremist, they are all going to have pineapples up the ass for infinity as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, okay. I'm going to go. I've been going for an hour. It's been nice to get back. I will be back and more focused, 10 a.m. in the morning. I will be fully rested. I will be showered. I will be, not that I'm smelly or anything. Interesting thing, side note from the whole prostate cancer thing. Because I don't manufacture testosterone anymore, I don't create BO. So, because, you know, you're working out at the gym or whatever, and, you know, sometimes you forgot to put deodorant on or whatever, and there is, you know, you get the whiff of BO, and I don't produce BO anymore because I don't have any testosterone. So, yeah, that's, but I need to go out and shower because I did work out today, and I want to shower and wash my hair and make myself look pretty for my wife. But you guys are awesome. Guys, girls, everybody, you're all awesome. Thank you for tuning in on this test run on my return to streaming. I am going to stream a shit ton more, I promise, in the coming weeks and months, especially over the holiday seasons. Maybe we can do some watch parties or something if you have Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. That might be fun. I know we've discussed that before. I have to look into it. And Ray, I'm serious. Give me a call. If you want to do something on a regular basis, the two of us, you have a concept of structure and access to people who can actually do things like, you know, lower thirds and interstitials and stuff, and an understanding of how to use them that I don't. I mean, look, I have a skill set, and my skill set involves sitting for going, fucking this, motherfucker, oh, wanker, oh, Liverpool are great. And that's about it. My technical skills. I mean, it's just that my learning skills. I don't know what it is. I got to a certain age and my brain got full. I'm done with it. So, yeah. Good Omens Season 2 watch party. Boom. Me and Ray are going to host that. Ray, you've got my fucking number. If this phone doesn't ring in the next 24 hours, obviously don't call me tonight. I'll be very disappointed, Ray. All right. Thank you all for joining me. It's been going an hour. Everybody's heading off. Have a good night. 10 a.m. PST tomorrow for the full everything. Some of the stuff will be repeated from this, but bring your questions. Let's talk about anything and everything. There'll be no game streaming. And again, if you're watching this on repeat, I'm so sorry that I started playing the game, totally lost interest in that, started talking to everybody. So, yeah, give me your thoughts. Give me your ideas. Tell me what you're playing. Tell me what you're watching. Are you going to see Black Adam? Wakanda Forever. Oh, my God. How amazing does that look? Did you watch She-Hulk? Did you enjoy it? I found She-Hulk to be probably the most enjoyable of all the Marvel TV shows. And I liked WandaVision, and I liked Miss Marvel, but She-Hulk was probably the best. But are they getting long in the tooth? Are you watching Andor? I started watching Andor and got bored. I have watched 1.5 episodes and then I put it down. I have not been back to watch it. So when that season finale comes up, maybe I'll binge watch it. But there you go. We will talk tomorrow. Be good. Have a great night. Have a great afternoon. Much love to you all. Thank you all for dropping by. So nice to be back for a while. And now I'm going to go back and play the game by myself because that's what I do. Bye. Why does this thing? I click on end broadcast and it says, you really want to end the broadcast? Of course I fucking do, or I wouldn't have clicked the damn button. What is it with this? And games in particular as well. It's like, oh, you've hit exit game. Do you really want to do that? No, I went to a menu, went all the way down to exit game and hit the button only to be asked again if I wanted to exit something. Seriously. I mean, this is just goddamn fucking